Good morning. This is a coordinated entry training for the Eastern Pennsylvania Continuum of Care. The presentation today and training is on housing problem solving. And we're going to talk about what housing problem solving is, how it's being utilized currently in the Eastern Pennsylvania Continuum of Care, and how to document coordinated entry housing problem solving attempts in PAHMIS. After the meeting, this presentation will be available through the Eastern Pennsylvania Continuum of Care website and YouTube channel. So the Continuum of Care spans 33 counties in Eastern Pennsylvania, and the Connect to Home coordinated entry system is the process by which anyone who's unhoused, experiencing literal homelessness, or at imminent risk can access the services available throughout the continuum, particularly HUD-funded services, but it's a network of community providers funded through different sources working in different communities. And people can access Connect to Home coordinated entry either by dialing 211 toll free anywhere within the 33 county region, or scheduling an appointment with one of our community-based walk-in sites powered by our CoC member organizations throughout the CoC. It's important to note that the core entry intake assessment referral and by nameless placement process is identical whether a person is calling 211 or visiting an access site. And by going through core entry, that provides the most effective, efficient connection to available services from street outreach to emergency shelter to supported or subsidized housing that are available through the Continuum of Care network, as well as referrals to other providers that provides additional mainstream and community services. So the core entry process, there's really two major tracks. One is for people that are experiencing literal homelessness by the federal Hearth Act HUD definitions of Category 1 and 4. And that intake process in HMIS leads to placement on the by name list when there are opportunities, openings available in our housing programs. We make referrals from core entry to those providers based on prioritization, as well as making direct referrals to emergency services. There is also the Category 2 uh, HUD Hearth Act definition of homelessness for people that are at imminent risk of homelessness and people that are eligible for Category 2. There is a separate, shorter intake process, and that intake process can lead to referrals to CoC homeless prevention and other prevention resources. As we have moved from into 2024 and 2025, we have adopted a governing board approved housing problem solving plan. Housing problem solving is one term becoming more of a nationally accepted term that can refer to a lot of different strategies. And we'll talk about some of the and acknowledge the names of those strategies. But what housing problem solving is really is it's a conversation-based strategy that is designed to help households that are experiencing homelessness to find safe housing solutions without having to rely necessarily on enrollment into one of our funding programs and needing long-term case management and support, for example, in rapid rehousing or permanent supportive housing, and at the same time find safe housing solutions so that they do not spend another night on the street or need to enroll into emergency shelter. So housing problem solving is not a strategy that is going to work for everyone that comes into contact with coordinated entry, but we're going to attempt it. We're trying to attempt it with everyone that is contacting core entry because, as we all know, there are fewer resources in our system than there is need within our communities. So this is a tool that and a strategy that we've been slowly adopting. We piloted it in 2024 with some of our core entry access sites. We learned a lot about how housing problem solving works, what's effective, and we've embedded that into our housing problem solving plan as a CoC. Some of the strategies are intuitive for CE specialists and other housing and homeless service providers. Other are best supported by training, and we are making training available as best as possible. And we certainly would like to hear from our CE specialists ongoing about what additional training would be valuable to them. Some key strategies in training for doing housing problem solving. Safety planning is imperative. We're not trying to have a conversation that leaves someone in a dangerous housing situation. Active listening is important. We're really trying to understand what is someone's current situation and even do a little bit of detective work on, are there potential solutions that they have but may not realize. And so that ties into motivational interviewing, which is really focusing on housing goals, resources to achieve those goals, and support for being able to attempt a self-resolution if possible. It involves brainstorming realistic options and providing some affirmation and support that this is possible. Housing problem solving conceptually is this conversation, but like many CoCs and communities around the country, we are adding a dimension to housing problem solving when we have it, which is temporary flexible financial assistance that doesn't necessarily require the eligibility criteria of our HUD funded programs.